I seen pain trying to creep in through the window, but now I'm sliding through the hood in a benzo. You gotta separate yourself just to elevate. I keep some drink in my cup to see through the hate. Sometimes on the road to glory, you gotta press the brakes. I got a lesson planned for all my past mistakes. I swear I'm proud of all my best and my worst days. Proud of all my feet when I touch the ground. Front of 80 Beijing, man, ain't know the sound. I know I made mistakes, but my mama proud. Fans scream my lyrics out in the background. They ain't know me then, but I'm hot now. They say life's a gamble, you gotta roll the dice. I risked a lot of different things just to live this life. It's life down bad, you gotta pay the price. I've been through hell and back just to live this life. They say life's a gamble, you gotta roll the dice. I risked a lot of different things just to live this life. When you down bad, you gotta pay the price. I've been through hell and back just to live this life. I'm faced with a lot of different choices these days. Do a rock and roll next account of Blueface. The whole world know my name off a mixtape. I still got the same brothers since 6th grade. G-Wagon, red seats, we on Biscayne. Trips to the Florida Keys, we imported these. Thanking God for the life he afforded me. All this jewelry on my body, acting like the hood. I need a brown skinned chick just like Megan Good. Holding up every promise that I ever made. Music in the background, this is a serenade. Been rapping 10 years, but this ain't a phase. I paid dues, paid rent, and I stayed the same. I had teardrops running down my face. I've been through a lot, I had real pain. But thank God, cause we really on a better days. They say life's a gamble, you gotta roll the dice. I risked a lot of different things just to live this life.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to HMP. Let me hit the right buttons here. Oh, my goodness. All of a sudden, it was just like, hey, would you like to open up this? No, I wouldn't. Thank you very much. But happy Friday the 13th, everybody. I can't believe I've done, Tuesday through Friday now, doing some streaming and stuff like that. And if you've tuned in any of those times, thank you so much. Really appreciate that. Yeah, man, it really means a lot that anybody would hang out and watch any of the dirty little things that we do over here. So if you are watching this video, do me a giant favor, hit that like and subscribe button and the bell for notifications and stuff. So when we do go live, and we will be going live more often on this channel, not just myself, but the entire podcast in and of itself. So we'll be doing HMP live on Sunday nights, and we'll be talking about 80s Eddie Murphy this month and everything. And of course, coming up this Sunday, we're going to be reviewing Trading Places. So if you'd like to check out that, keep it like and subscribe, man. We really appreciate that. And of course, you'll get to drop little things in the chat here and everything, so you can talk with everybody back and forth. And of course, there's always a super chat equals Portress Bucks. And I'm not doing any substitute teaching right now, so this is kind of it. So throw those Portress Bucks my way if you got them. And but if you can, of course, always just like and subscribe and all that kind of good stuff. Share this show with other people. It's constantly streaming over here. We are on YouTube, Twitch, and Kick. So we're doing all of those things. And of course, if you got a comment, we'll highlight it on this here program, just like we're going to do right here and right now. I just subscribed. Well, thank you, buddy. Appreciate that. That's all we need from you. It's just a big old giant subscription. We're going to have some fun today. Like I said, it's Friday the 13th, and as such, we have the Friday the 13th whole series. We're going to go through and rank the entire thing on a tier list and find out what's what. And then hopefully you guys can argue with me and tell me why I'm wrong, because that's how everyone always does, is they just say, you're wrong, you're wrong, you're wrong. Me, maybe I'm a little bit wrong, but I'd like to hear your thoughts and stuff as well. So go ahead and throw those in the chat as we do it. But we got a couple other things on the docket here as well. A couple of videos to watch. I got to get some crap out of my eye because something's going on. How's everybody doing today? We got we got new movies and stuff coming out this weekend. I think really the only thing that is on anybody's radar is Life of Chuck. If you want to see my review of Life of Chuck, I got to see that a little over a week ago. Go check that out on the main YouTube page there and everything. We talked all about that and whether or not it's something that you should go see. But we got a couple of things to work with here. I don't know about you guys, but I'm a Quest owner. I've owned a couple of the old 3D headsets and stuff like that. So there's a new feature out that kind of turns your your living room, if you will, into a kind of a home theater-esque sort of thing. So I know there's a lot of people out there that don't have the the big home theater and stuff like I do. And and we'll see if that might be an option that you might want to explore in your house where you can't, get a 100-inch television. Maybe this might be a better option. And of course, I also want to talk about my buddy Ken over at Mid-Level Media has a video up and everything about censorship in a DVD that's coming out. And I know a lot of times we get, for example, we're doing the Friday the 13th series this today. With that and everything, there's a lot of versions of Friday the 13th, some little edits and stuff here and there and whatnot. So I don't know where I was going. Anyway, so yeah, there's a point within cutting stuff out that goes for like MPAA stuff, and but again, I don't know what the angle of his video is. So let's go ahead and check that one out first here. This is going to be mid-level. There we are. Let's pop this bad boy up here. I'm going to remove that one, put that one in. Let's check out Ken's video, Crocodile Dundee 4K controversy and censorship. Pretty let's find out. I agree with that. Why is the stream quality so high and I'm the only one viewer? Amen to that, brother. Amen to that.
All right, let's talk about this, guys. This is kind of controversial. It really is. And I had heard like rumblings of this, but I didn't know for sure what was going to happen with the actual physical release. But I knew that there was some kind of a censored version of Crocodile Dundee out there floating around, and people were speculating, are they going to use this for the physical version?
I did want to say this. When I was working as a manager in a movie theater, one of our servers was Australian. She came via Australia and everything. She was my age, which is great because it's always nice when you have somebody that's in their 40s that's, the same age as you and everything. So it was especially in that, arena surrounded by a bunch of kids in their 20s and stuff. But she was in her 40s. And so you could easily cross-reference all of these things. And I was like, hey, man, Crocodile Dundee. How accurate. It's like he's like your number one export. I was like, do you guys treat him is he like royalty there? And he's kind of like a joke. Turns out he's kind of like a joke over there.
They're going to include both of the versions for people that want to see both. And look, we're seeing this. We're starting to see this. We just saw this recently, even though it was less controversial because I didn't hear a lot of people really talking about it. And also, I think that most people were just more accepting of that change. Which at the end of the day, well, I guess I
was about to say, I hope he's going to address what this change is because I don't know that I'm necessarily aware of it.
Say it first. Lilo and Stitch, the 4K was also censored. That came out from Disney. Wow. And I didn't hear a stink about that because the scene that they censored was
all of Stitch's nudity. Everybody's trying to get woke in the last couple things. You don't want a little gremlin on the screen showing his wang? I swear, man, y'all just trying to make this world a worse place.
Stitch hiding in a washer and dryer, and that would teach kids, bad behavior. We don't want our kids to, sneak into the washer and dryer. Well, it could kill them, But my argument is
properly.
There's a lot of stuff that you watch in movies, particularly when you're a kid, that is fantasy, that if you tried it, it would kill you, That's
I hate arguments like that where it's just like, oh, well, the kids are stupid. So if the kids are stupid, then we've got to just take it out of there. Instead of actually, asking parents to be accountable for raising their actual children, putting a brain inside of their heads, your thought is, well, we can't trust those parents, so let's just kill everything. That's ridiculous, dude.
Yes, the washer and dryer thing, that's a little bit too close to home. Like that's in your house. So I get that. A lot of stuff, like if people are going on adventures and things like that, riding magic carpets and things like that, you're not gonna encounter those situations.
I bet you would for a couple of them, though. You got to know that there's some redneck kid who's like, listen, man, that Aladdin movie was great. Now watch me take this carpet down the stairs. It happened.
Situations likely if you're like a 5-year-old, but you can encounter your washer and dryer when you're 5 years old. I get that.
You don't want the washer and dryer videos that are on the internet these days. What's that about? Why is that a thing where it's just like stuck inside of a dryer? Of all the places that you could get stuck in, a dryer, like it's a rather large opening, a dryer. How one gets stuck in it, it's you guys don't think about plot well enough.
But also there's other things, in other films. So I just think it gets very complicated when we start singling out like certain things to edit from movies, and it's like, where does it end?
We took all the blackface out of the jazz singer. Sorry.
So I'm really like not for censorship at all. I don't care what it is. I really don't.
That was a joke on my fault, just because he said censorship, and I got a little so I can just kind of whatever I want.
If you don't think that is appropriate for your kid, then do your research and don't have them watch it. Just don't have them watch it. Don't support it. Don't buy it.
What a wild concept, Ken. Now, Ken has children, so he can really, truly speak to this. I have none, so I cannot, but I've been a middle school substitute teacher. But I'll tell you this, parents, it's on you, man. You got to actually train your kids to, not be little jerks, and to when they see things that might not be, acceptable or whatever, that they should know that that's what that is. It's so stupid that we're taking this responsibility off of parents and then just saying like, well, put your hands in the air. It's stupid.
Like, I just don't want it to be censored. Like, these movies should be in their original format always. Okay. I mean, that's just what I believe. Again, I know that they did it, but still, I'm not for it any way, shape, or form. So Crocodile Dundee has the encore cut, and this is a 4K release that's going to be coming out of Crocodile Dundee and Crocodile Dundee 2. Oh yeah, we got the sequel as well, guys. But the sequel, I don't think, has an alternate cut. And these will be coming out from
part 2 got too corporate, man.
Oh. Madman Films in Australia on July the 9th. So both of these are on Australian releases. The encore cut of the first movie will be included here, which is the edited version of the film. So I've already heard from a lot of people they're not going to support this. They're not going to get this. And look, I got to be honest, guys. I haven't seen Crocodile Dundee. I haven't. Go ahead and
you'll be all right. There's a large number of movies out there that like people truly revere and say like, oh man, this is super great. This is one of the things. This is it. But if you haven't seen it by this point and stuff, you're probably going to be nothing but disappointed. And I feel like Crocodile Dundee is one of those movies that at this point, if you see it, you're going to be like, was that what everybody was talking about? That movie? Okay.
Fire up your pitchforks in the comment section. I haven't seen it. Okay, I've not seen Crocodile Dundee, and I certainly haven't seen Crocodile Dundee 2.
That's fine.
I don't know the material that's edited out. I don't know enough about it. I've heard certain things from certain people. I don't know exactly what the material is that they edited out. Oh, somebody has it wrote down here. Let's see. The author wrote this. From what I've seen, the encore cut is not extended, but has actually been altered with some of the jokes removed as they are now considered offensive to someone. I suspect it's the bit wherein Dundee verifies that a man in drag is a man and then performs the same check later on an elderly woman. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I could see how that'd be, a little bit up the skirt of one of the execs up there and everything. I get it. But at the same time, the movie is what it is. These things shouldn't be censored. I don't think any movie should have, the morals of today thrust upon an old piece. It doesn't make any sense. To have a movie that's ridiculously old, no matter, if it's this movie, Birth of a Nation, whatever, it's like it's going to have things that are not so hot. And it's going to be your job, believe it or not. It's going to be your job to, ascertain whether or not that is something that you want to see or participate in. And here's the best part. You don't have to. If you don't want to, you don't have to move along. But for those that do, and at this point, who's going like, you know what? We really want to show Johnny Crocodile Dundee. However, we've really found that it's a bit problematic. And I can't have them watching problematic things like Crocodile Dundee. Get out of here, dude.
Okay. So, well, that's kind of funny, but that's what I'm talking about. It's like stuff that, everyone just accepted as funny, 30 years ago or
because
40 years ago when this movie came out. I think it was an 80s movie, right? We all
are the same people that want to be censoring Ace Ventura or something like that, where it's just like, hey, this is unacceptable. It's like, it's fine, shut up.
I'll find offensive now. And it's like, again, where do you draw that line? And it's like there's comedies that come out now that everyone thinks is funny and everyone thinks is okay. In 40 years, it could be it could be offensive to somebody. Where do you draw the line?
There's going to be a ton of that.
You just have to understand that these movies were made in a particular time when this stuff was accepted widely by everyone, and it was okay. You have to understand that. You cannot hold these movies to the same standards that we hold our movies to today.
Great.
I understand, like, maybe you don't want to put that kind of scene in a movie in 2025. I would understand that. Exactly. I get that. But why are you holding all these older movies to that same standard? You shouldn't. They were made in different.
They were made in a different time. They're different circumstances, which these things are there. But to go through and I don't even like. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't even like it when they go through and start doing like the little trigger warnings and stuff like that. If Disney says, "Hey, here's Gone with the Wind." By the way, everybody, this takes place during slavery times. And slavery was bad. Listen, we're brave here at Disney, and we're gonna tell you, slavery bad, not a good thing. You should try to run away from slavery, not good. But we're here to tell you, just in case that you got it misunderstood, just in case your little peanut brain sees this and just goes, "Is slavery good?" No, it's not. But thank God you were there to give us that trigger warning. I know I feel safe. Come on, damn it.
Time where this stuff was accepted. So that to me is just kind of ridiculous. It really is. So I don't know who made this alternate cut. I don't think it was, Madman Films that did the alternate cut. I think the alternate cut was already made. It was already established.
I'd like to think that Paul Hogan himself came in and cut it. He says, look, mate, I'm not showing this to anybody anymore. These trans jokes, they're offensive. Right? See? That's my best. I haven't worked on a Paul Hogan. Get off my back.
But it is kind of BS. And that's the one that they're using. And it doesn't look like they're using the alternate cut or the original theatrical cut of the movie. So yeah, guys, I will say there is, I think, a Blu-ray double pack available on Amazon. If you just want to get these movies, you can get them on Blu-ray. I think it's like $15 or something like that. And you can own both of the films on Blu-ray and you don't have to support these 4Ks. Honestly, like I wouldn't. I really would.
And you shouldn't. And that's one of the biggest shames of this. Is that I liken this also to the original theatrical cut of Star Wars and everything, the unspecialized, unmolested version. just have it be an option. Just to have it be an option that's out there, and like it can exist. Why we have to sit there and say like, no, we have to have this updated thing. It needs to be that. This should be the exact same thing, because when Star Wars, this was still in the DVD days, no less. They were like, here's how they put it together for you. They said, so it was Fox. It was still Fox at the time. So Fox goes, hey man, we know you want the original Star Wars on DVD. We understand you want that cut, the special edition. It's just not your thing. We get it. We hear you. We understand you, and we want to accommodate. And then they go and put it out on non-anamorphic 4:3. Absolutely beautiful. So the screen that you designed it to, like everyone, so at this point, pretty much everyone's got a widescreen television at this point. And you said, here's your thing. And then when we didn't buy it, you just go like, see, not an audience for this thing. They don't like it. They don't want it. They might want it. They might possibly want it, but you need to actually put it out there. Give people an actual, an option. Give us an option. I remember, just to round it back again, when E.T. came out on DVD for the first time, and if you'll remember, this was right around the time when Steven Spielberg said, hey man, I want to redo this thing. We want to add in a whole nother scene with E.T. in the bathtub. We obviously, the most famous thing is taking the guns out of their hands and replacing them with walkie-talkies and a couple other little bullcrap things and stuff that they did in there. At one point when they brought that out on DVD, there were like the regular DVD was just that, whatever was it, 25th anniversary, whatever anniversary it was at that point when it came out. They put that out on DVD, and they said the only way that you can actually get the original theatrical cut is to buy this big giant ET box set. And I bought that box set because at that point my thoughts were, this is the only way I'm going to be able to see ET in its original form ever. So I'm going to pay, I believe at that time, $100 for that Blu-ray set or DVD set. It wasn't even Blu-ray, it was DVD. It had the original theatrical, the new one, and a soundtrack, and I think a bonus disc. I'm going to do a video on that little gift set one day. It was pretty sweet. But it was the only way to get it. It was the only way to get that original theatrical cut. And I think things like Star Wars need to get into that field of just saying like, hey, if you want this, we can do it for you. Charge us a pretty penny, man. We don't care. Now, Crocodile Dundee's not going to be in the same kind of, field of that and everything. You should just give people what they want with that one. But if there's anybody that could, wring the shit out of this, it's Star Wars, and that.
I'm not saying you should do what I would do, but I wouldn't support this. I really wouldn't. I think it's crap. I don't think that this is where we should be heading with our art, with our physical media.
Nope.
This is supposed to be film preservation. This is what this whole hobby, this whole thing is all about, guys. This is what we're doing here today. This is why I'm on here, like talking about this stuff all the time. We're preserving movies, and we're preserving it in the physical format, okay, where it should be preserved. So
no, I want it on digital, where it can be taken away from me at any particular time for any particular reason. You guys are really going to rue the day at some point when those digital collections end up dying a horrible death, man.
Oh, yeah, I don't know, guys. Let me know what you guys think about this in the comment section. If you want to support this, if you want to get it, I get it. Everybody has their own reasons for doing whatever, but I wouldn't support it. This comes out on July the 9th, guys, and I'm not going to link it down below. I'm just kidding. I'll link whatever's available if I find it.
All right. I'm going to go ahead and give that bad boy a like and share it here in the chat. If indeed you would like to go and check out Mid-Level Media, give him a like and subscribe and all that kind of good stuff. I know that he doesn't need my help because he is doing far better than I do in every way, shape, or form. So we appreciate him and all that kind of good stuff. All right. Let's get the next one on the docket, shall we? We're going to do one more video, and then we're going to jump into our tier list here and everything. We're going to have a good old-fashioned time. Let's see. There we go. As I said previously, I am a virtual reality headset owner. I own the original Quest, and then waited all the way to the Quest, whatever the hell the new one is. Is it the 3? Is it the Quest 3? I think, yeah, it's the 3. It's a fun little thing. I don't use it nearly as much as I would like to, mostly because I just don't have a whole bunch of free space to rummage around in and freely throw my hands all around. And let's be frank, games are still a little bit expensive over there and everything. But I will say this, there are cool options out there if and you want to watch movies on your headset and everything. And especially if you're somebody that doesn't have a very large TV. I have a large TV. My TV is an 85-inch 4K TCL with my giant surround sound and everything. And let's see our good friend over at BMFVR. He has got himself a little video here talking about the new thing that they've got in the Quest. Let's check it out.
I just turned my Quest 3 into a full-blown smart TV with apps, movies, even Xbox game streaming. No side loading, no mods, just one app that changes everything. And yes,
and I want to know this from you guys in chat as well. What do you guys think about this? What size is your TV at home? And if you had access to something like this where you could have this giant screen projected within a VR and everything, would that be something that you're actually interested in? I'm curious.
there's even a 3D Xbox controller overlay that you can actually see while you're playing. And nobody is talking about this. This is called Fluid XR. They just updated.
Clearly just giving us like an Apple TV thing. Where are we at?
Favorite streaming services, and it creates an experience that feels very much like you're using a smart TV or a Roku to access all of the content. This legitimately turns your Quest 3 into an actual smart TV. We're gonna
really just kind of looks like they took the inspiration obviously from your Apple Pro. What the hell is it called? Apple Vision Pro. Ugh, what a mouthful that is. Wonder why they haven't sold 1 billion units.
Jump in and I'm going to show you how it works, all the different options, and then after I show you the smart TV stuff, I'm going to show you how amazing it is to play Xbox game streaming in VR with an actual Xbox controller that you can see. Okay, welcome to Fluid XR. This is the main home theater location that you can watch stuff in. You can also do pass-through or void if you want to. There's also a grand theater and a Nook we're going to check out in a minute. They say they're locked. You can upgrade to actually get access to those. I have access to them currently. There's also some other settings we're going to get into, but first, look at this UI. It actually looks really nice. It looks like a true smart TV interface.
Sometimes I do wonder, and I just go, you know you're filming this, right? You know you're filming it for everybody. What are you doing this for, Matt? What's the... It's a little much.
With all your applications here, and you can...
I will say this, looking at that and how that's scrolling and the responsiveness of it all and everything, that's better than majority of smart TVs out there. Absolutely.
Search for your movies and TV shows here. You can go down and you can browse through top shows. You can look through this, or you can look through movies. And let me just show you, when you click on a movie, let's click on Deadpool for fun, then it'll bring up the movie. It gives you the rating, the time, everything that you'd normally see in a real theater system or a real smart TV, including a description. And then it even says where to watch. If you're subscribed to Disney Plus, you can click this. If you're logged into Prime and you already have it, you can click on that. It'll go to Prime. If I click on Disney Plus here, we're not going to watch this because
you're going to get copy stricken. And if you get copy stricken, I get copy stricken. I don't like that. So cut it out, Matt. Don't be doing that.
Watch Deadpool and Wolverine right now. But we'll click on it anyways. Until that brings it right to the actual screen here. You can go through. You can obviously go back to and go through the Disney Plus
That's
system as well, if you want to do it this way, or you can just hit stream and it'll bring you back to the main home environment or the main UI. I like the main UI better. It's kind of like Chromecast a little bit, in the sense that it's kind of got everything in one spot, which I really like. I've always liked that, because then you can go through all the movies and stuff that you want to watch. And let's grab Wicked, for instance. And if you've got Peacock, which I do, or if you own it on Prime, you can watch it on there. And you can actually just go to where you want and see all the different movies. The other cool thing about
the real turd is that, like, because of the copyright stuff and everything, I don't think he's going to show us like any like honest to God video of it, which is a little bit of a bummer.
This is the settings that you can offer. This right here, XG, is actually the Xbox game streaming. We're going to do that in just a second, and I'll show you how that works. But this doesn't just support online stuff or 2D stuff. So there's different things you can actually do with this. You can click on local storage and it'll go through and actually show you all of the videos you have on your.
Now, I will say this for those of you that may not have actually experienced it before. There is a thing where you could go through in your Quest 3 and everything and go to a theater that would actually be showing a 3D program. And because obviously of what you're wearing is stereoscopic here and everything, you get that actual 3D effect with it as you would within a video game itself. So it's pretty cool.
Video shots, albums, Horizon videos. It'll actually organize everything by folder. So if you've got extra stuff, this is just all stuff that I've recorded on my actual device, or you can have actual preloaded movies and TV shows if you have backups of them onto your hard drive, and you can watch everything in there. And if you've got 3D content, you can actually turn on 3D content. You can do 3D left and right, which looks weird right now if I click on that, 3D top and bottom, or you can do 2D default, and it automatically switches it for you.
And some of y'all be using that 3D for some nefarious action. That's all I'll call it.
The supported formats, most of the major ones. The only things it doesn't support right now is stuff like MKV is what I have a lot of backups in, and a lot of MP4 and MOV. Before we move on, let's talk about today's sponsor, Connectome. Every now and then, a VR experience comes along that doesn't just surprise you. It kind of resets your brain.
Okay.
Enter Connectome. This isn't a shooter, and it's not about beating levels or racking up points. Connectome is a
getting super stoned and getting on your VR and just having a trip of a
to
time.
Discover and to interact with the world in a
Can
way
recommend,
that
by
feels
the way.
almost instinctive. With just your hands, you'll connect the dots to reveal objects. It's part art, part puzzle, and fully mesmerizing. There are 20 unique rooms at launch, each one building on the last. More complex, more mysterious,
By the way,
and
thanks
more
for
immersive.
the first
it's hard to explain
comment
how this
here and
feels
everything,
until
so
you really
that's nice
try
to know
it.
that
But
somebody's
if you've ever
over there.
wanted VR to slow down and to make you feel present again, Connectome nails it. Right now, you can get 25% off using the code on screen or down in the description, which brings it down to $9.74. And they're doing a giveaway right now. There's a link in the description. Jump to the link and enter for your chance to win a Quest 3. Check out more about Connectome at the link right down in the description. Now, it also has what's called a light spill. So you can see kind of the haze around the edges. You can turn that off if you want to. I personally like it. You can set the intensity up really high if you want. What that is it's reactive. You can see it as you move things. It actually it changes on the environment.
Cool, but no.
So you can see the light change. When you watch something, let's go ahead and watch something for fun. We're just going to go here and we're going to watch the trailer for Alien Romulus. I'm going to turn this down so you don't hear it on the microphone. And we shouldn't get a copyright claim because it's a trailer. So let's watch the trailer.
But you'd be dead ass
should have reactive. I'll turn this way up so you can actually see. See, there you go, right there. See all the reactive coloring? Let's fast forward a little bit. There, you'll see lighting. This isn't going to be the best one to have probably because it's not going to have a ton of lighting in it. So you're going to get reactive lighting. Like it's actually really cool. You'll see different spots of lighting dependent on what's happening on screen. See what I mean? It reacts. It's kind of like those lights you can put behind your TV.
Yeah.
That gives, look at that. See how reactive that is? How awesome that looks? It extends the size of the screen.
I mean, it's interesting.
Really cool,
I don't know that it's not something that I don't think I would necessarily want, but I'm also not the target audience for those LED light strips that you put behind TVs and stuff that make them dance. I'm not that audience. So, I mean, it makes sense.
It makes it look a lot bigger. The flashing and stuff on the walls. When you watch something like that's got big action scenes, you really notice that. But even here, you can see the yellow and the red from Deadpool.
It's a bit much with that up to that level, though. I'll say that.
It's just, you can turn that way down if you want, or you can turn it off. I personally like it pretty high because I think it adds a lot to it. It doesn't take away from the screen itself. It just adds a lot of character to around it and kind of takes your space and makes it look really cool. Now, another thing that you can do is switch environments. Before we do that, though, let me show you that you can actually move around these environments. You can teleport if you want. You can make it bigger by getting up closer if you want.
Wait, hold on. Is he teleporting in his own room? Huh?
You can also sit where you want to. And I also recommend looking at the
he had to make
different
this room.
posters and stuff. It's really cool. It's fun to look at the posters. You can adjust the brightness of this room specifically, so you can have it really bright if you want to, or you can turn it down like you're.
Okay, so this is definitely getting into my neighborhood here with the kind of home theater-esque, and this is what we've done. We've put it inside, an actual like little home theater here and everything. All right,
You're in a movie theater. The void puts you in like just a void. See, it's like a dark void with nothing here.
That's how the YouTube app would do and everything. Just kind of put you in a big giant void. Here's the thing, though. Like, you can say what you will. Not super high res.
You see, looks kind of like a loading area. Pass through is just pass through. You can click pass through and it goes to the pass through mode, and it does exactly the same thing. Grand Theater is massive. Look at the size of this. This is huge. If you watch something on this thing, you're gonna see it. And the cool part about this is you can move around with this too. You can teleport all the way over here if you want to. Go sit at the bar or something. Look at that. You got fish in here, and you can watch this giant. Let's sit in a spot that makes a little more sense, shall we? Look at that. So if I want to, I could sit here all the way back here. You could go over there too if you wanted, to the bar over here. And
I mean, look, it's cool looking. And I've been in these types of environments, not this specific one here and everything, but I've been in these types of things, and it's neat. Will it replace a big home theater? I don't know about all that.
Watch stuff. What's going to be even more amazing is if we can get multiplayer in this. I really hope that they do add multiplayer, because then I could like sit at the bar over here and get whatever those fluid bar drinks are and watch something and talk with a friend while I watch. You know what I mean? Have something cool. And it'd be even cooler if you could stream at the same time.
They did have a thing that you could go to that was like more or less a movie theater, I guess. And they were showing something in it, and you could just pop in and out of that thing, sit wherever you want, and kind of, just like he's showing here, teleport to one spot or another and everything. An actual movie experience, it's about as what you would see in normal movie going experiences, which is to say people talking and yapping. All that shit. Drive you nuts.
If you're both logged in. But that's not happening as of yet anyways. Now you can also do your little nook. I like this. This is really cool. I just like this area. It's like feels like a little
someone else's house. It feels like someone else. You like being in other people's homes.
House. You can go
that would be hilarious if you teleported your ass into the water.
Around this room, but you can't really like go outside. It's more like a still image, but it's cool to be able to go around the room and look around.
You could get outside. You could get outside in what's it called? Workplace Simulator. When you're at the gas station and everything, you can you play it right. You can walk outside.
And you can get up nice and close to the screen here too. And this is also the situation where you can switch seats as well. Now, this isn't the only thing you can do. There is other stuff you can also do. You can go to multitasking mode. And I'm not going to show that today. I'll do that in a separate video if there's interest for it, because there's a lot of stuff you can do in there. If you hit that, it actually asks you, do you want to switch to multitasking mode? This is where you can manage multiple apps seamlessly. You can join friends in multiplayer, and you can use a keyboard and mouse. And it works really well. I've used it before. It's really cool. But, again, there's more you can do in this application. Let me just put my controllers down for a second. I'm going to grab my Xbox controller, this right here, and I'm going to turn it on so that it connects. Come on, you can do it. There it goes. Okay, so there you go. Look at that.
That is cool.
You can actually see it. And, oops, as I move around, unless it thinks my hands are there, which it does do that too. But if I'm holding my controller, look at this. It actually maps to all the buttons.
That's
so you can
neat.
see it.
I like
You can see it actually moving and mapping to each one. So as I'm playing, I actually can look down or hold this up if I want to and see the controller. Now, that's helpful for someone like me that uses PlayStation more often than not and doesn't remember the names of the face buttons. But even just the novelty of it is really cool. So I can use my hand tracking, and just click on this. Here we are inside of the cloud gaming application, and you can use your Xbox controller just like you would in the actual official Xbox gaming application. You know what we're going to do, though? We're going to switch over to the home theater because I like the home theater better.
Than that.
And click on this. And you can go ahead and play anything that you want to play. You can jump back into whether you're playing Doom or whatever you have on game streaming. This does work also with, the other GeForce Now as well. And you could do that. My favorite part, though, I just love having an actual controller. It feels more like you're playing a game instead of just hands hovering there. That's usually why I do it in a pass-through mode, because it's easier for me to actually play. But the fact that you can see this controller in your peripheral and it actually tracks to the way you're moving it, I don't know. It's just amazing. So
and you can be one of those guys that, you know, thinks moving the regular controller's doing something. It's just like, why are you bouncing all around there?
Click on something like Doom. It will say controller's not detected for whatever reason. You can hit continue now, and you can play the game. It'll get it ready. It'll launch it, and then you're going to just jump in and play whatever you want to play. I haven't played very far in this. I've only played a little bit of it just to test it and to see how it works. Not really a big Doom fan, but you can play this game. The quality of this game, it really depends on like your internet connection and how it looks.
That's the real pip, isn't it, kids?
Looks pretty good right here. So you can play this if you want to, and whatever other games are on game streaming. I love game streaming. I love the fact that you can actually play this.
I mean, it's a neat idea, but I don't know how often,
actually
if ever, I
move
use
this where you want it to be. Move it around if you want to. You don't have to, and you can bring it closer to you. So if you want like a more personal experience, you can actually move it closer and push it farther away. I personally like to feel more grounded, so I like to put it where it's actually supposed to be. But you know, that's could just be me. I don't know. I like to feel like I'm actually in a true movie theater. When they add multiplayer into this,
I got my rooms. That's enough.
It's gonna be amazing because we'll be able to sit next to people and actually watch it. Very much looking forward to actually being able to do that. Now that is a true smart TV experience inside of the Quest 3. It legitimately feels like you're putting a smart TV on your face now when you put the Quest 3 on and use Fluid XR. There's a link down in the description to the experience for you to check out. I love everything that this has to offer, not just the streaming stuff. It's a lot more in-depth of a program as well, allowing you to do things for productivity, having multiple screens, even multiplayer, and allowing you to go into other places with other people to work and to browse and to do a whole bunch of application stuff inside of the Quest 3 that's outside of game streaming and outside of movie watching.
All this,
but their new update that they've added to this really blows the door open for me on consuming content. I already love doing this in a lot of ways, but this takes things to a whole new polished level. But let me know what you think down in the comments. Is this something that you would use? Have you tried it before? I highly recommend checking it out at the link down in the description. Thank you.
All right, let's give a good old thumbs up here and share this video with you guys. Go ahead and give that a good old-fashioned like and subscribe and all that kind of good crap over there. We really appreciate Matt for putting out good quality product, man. All right. Well, the time has come, everybody. The time has come for us to talk about today. Today is Friday the 13th. It comes around, I don't want to say once a year because that's not necessarily true, but it comes around every once and a while. And when it does, I feel like, you know, it's as good a time as any to go back and start talking about the Friday the 13th films. And, of course, ranking them all and telling you which ones are good, which ones are bad, and anywhere in between. So let's get into it, everybody. I've got myself a little bit of a tier list here, and we're going to go through all of our Friday the 13th movies. Now, the biggest question here is, all right, hopefully my connection will stay clear here. All right, the big question is like, what order do we go in here for these films and everything? Let's see if I can get this a wee bit bigger so I can see, because I'm blind. Because I'm blind as a bat, I see. All right, here we go. Let's go in order. Let's see if we can find the order here and everything, and go in said order. First up is going to be Friday the 13th, the OG, the original. I think I want to put that in the B category because it feels like it's the most, it's a solid entry into it. It's one of those movies that says it may not be the best one within the entire series, but they do well enough. And it's a good establishing point. And I got to be honest with you. I know a lot of people will go and poo-poo on many of these movies, and for whatever reason, part one doesn't tend to get the respect I believe it deserves. But I don't know that I could necessarily put it in any category higher than a B. Because it's certainly not up in the A category. I mean, maybe there could be an argument because it is the OG. It is the thing that led to all of them. But it wasn't the thing that made it ultimately iconic there and everything. So I feel like we've got to go in the B category. Up next, we got part 2. Part 2 is your sequel, Baghead Jason. You remember Baghead Jason, fun guy. I think a lot of people have revised some things and really like part 2 a bit more than they did in days gone by. I think recently it has become a far more cool thing to do, if you will, to get yourself to become a big giant fan of part 2 and everything. But I gotta admit to you, I don't know that part 2 is all that great. Part 2, I'm going to put part 2 in the C category. I don't think it's bad. I think it's got a couple of good scares and stuff in it, but let's be honest with you. There is a level of iconography that we won't get until part 3. So let's just jump into that. Part 3. Where are we at here? They put it all in some funk ass order. There, part 3 is blind as a bat. I should know what that looks like. All right, so let's take part 3. Part 3 is the iconic one, right? That's when we first get the hockey mask here and everything. Shelly, one of the more annoying characters in horror history and everything. What was his name? It's Shelly, right? Shelly is the or is Shelly the one that I always forget? I always mix up him and the fat guy in Texas Chainsaw Massacre. They're both they are two of the Mount Rushmore of annoying horror characters. So I feel like as much, you know what he looks like? You know what he feels like to me? He feels like Albert Brooks in a Friday the 13th movie. Like if 17-year-old Albert Brooks says, "I'm going to be in a horror film." But I got to say though, it is number 3, and I think really just on account of the actual hockey mask and everything, we need to put it in the A tier. I think it belongs in the A tier just on account of that, because if that movie didn't exist and they have one little throwaway bullcrap thing where a guy puts on a hockey mask, would this series ever have gone on? It could have just been one particular killer going out through everything, or like I think their initial thought was to have like different killers and stuff each time. And so it didn't necessarily have to be, Friday the 13th, the continuing adventures of Jason Voorhees. It didn't necessarily have to be that. But that's what they kind of decided, and it kept rolling. And part 3 is the one where you would finally get the hockey mask, the thing that would make Jason Voorhees, and all the kids kind of, scream and cry and go, "Oh no, Jason's going to get me." So I feel like it can't go anywhere but the A tier. All right, number 4. It's an easy one. We all know it. Friday the 13th, the final chapter. Where do you think it's going? So Tom Savini did the makeup in part 1. Kind of went on to become, the thing that it was. Tom Savini himself then went on to become who he became. And then he would go through and said, "Hey, we're doing one more Friday the 13th movie. It's called Friday the 13th, the final chapter. We'd love to have you back and close out this series." That was the pitch. So Savini's like, "Yeah, man, you know what? I've learned a whole heck of a lot since the original film here and everything. Several years later, I got this. Let's do this. Let's get together this final chapter, if you will." They put together the final chapter, and it does so well that the hell that can't be the last chapter. But we've got Corey Feldman in the role of oh Christ, what's that kid's name again? I always forget. I always just want to call him Corey Feldman because I know that's not, it's an actor. Tommy Jarvis, I believe. I think that was right. Listen, man, it's got some of the best makeup, if not close to the best makeup that there was throughout the entire Friday the 13th series. Feldman's performance is probably one of his top 5 performances of all time. It's really, really good. Just like the grasp that this kid actor has on his role and what he's doing here is spectacular. Him coming out with the shaved head and everything and looking at Jason and just screaming at him and stuff like that. Absolutely iconic, really fantastic. It's S tier, dude. You knew it. You knew this was S tier. I don't know why we were all just kind of thinking like, oh, what's it going? No, it's going to be S tier. Let's see if I can shrink her down just a little so we can see proper. There we go. All right, up next, part 5. All right, then part 5 is Jason Lives. Jason Lives. Let's put that in the B category just while we talk about it. Here's the thing, man. I know at least I didn't watch these movies growing up, but the people that I know did. And I remember a lot of people kind of poo-pooing Jason Lives here and everything. It's a weird concept, you know. It's a little strange. It's a little bit out there. But we kind of continue to follow along Tommy Jarvis. I think that's pretty great. Or is his name Tommy Jarvis? Am I fucking that up? But we continue on. It's not Corey Feldman again, but we get another actor kind of filling this role here and everything. It's a lot of fun, this movie. It's a little bit corny. It's a little bit stupid, but hey, most of them are. Most of them are this dumb. But I don't know that I can say that it goes anywhere except for the C category, just because it's interesting enough. I do like the scene where people are trying to make it with a dead body in their room. That's pretty cool. Really, really way to hone in the ladies. Let's see. Let's roll on. Wait, or was this? Wait a minute. Am I forgetting the order here? Because this one is. Which one is this? I can't even tell. My vision's awful. All right, that's New Blood. That's New Blood. So that's further on. Clearly practiced this, didn't I? All right, so New Blood's not it. There it is, part 5. Is this part 5? That's part 5. Jason. Okay, that was part 5 is Jason, and there we go. I've got it backwards. So we're gonna have that one at C, and now I'm forgetting which one. Okay, no. All right, I've fucked it all up here. Hold on. All right. D is the one where is that the one where he was brought back with lightning? Is that the one? They're really all starting to go together here. I think it is. Yes, that's the one. That's the lightning one right there, but not the part 7, which is, by the way, part 7. That's the one with the girl with the telekinesis powers and stuff like that. I recommend that one way big time, dude. That one's going in the B category. It's super awesome nonsense. That Jason, the look on that Jason is fantastic. I want to, I love him coming out with his big giant, when the mask comes off and his head's just kind of like, love it. Absolutely fantastic. Which is not the same for the next movie here. Jason Takes Manhattan. Guess what, kids? Jason Takes Manhattan. I feel one. I think the only reason that we like Jason Takes Manhattan is Kelly Hu, rather. People were like, "Oh, she's great," blah blah blah. And like that was like her big thing, and then she'd go on to do X-Men and stuff like that. 7's your favorite? 7's fantastic. 7 is a sleeper that I think a lot of people don't really think about. But Jason Takes Manhattan is terrible. The idea of him. All right, I gotta figure out how all this works. All right, so next one up here Gonna rustle some feathers with this one, boy. Jason Goes to Hell. I'm here to tell you right now, everybody. Jason Goes to Hell's a piece of garbage. It is absolutely awful. I know they just recently put out this, Arrow 4K here and everything, making it look like, oh boy, coming out and get this sucker. No, I'm gonna say a big old giant no on that one. That one gets an F. Yeah, that one gets an F. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna say it's a D. I'm gonna go D for that one. Actually, because as bad as it is, it could be so much worse. I think it could be so much worse, but it's pretty bad. But the worst does come in the next one, which of course is Jason X. Oh, goody gumdrops. If there's anything that it's at some point or another, we're going to be sending one of these villains to space. How Freddy hasn't gotten to space yet, I really don't know. I mean, we've had Leprechaun in space. Michael Myers should be in space at some point. He did everything else. I feel like he's no longer, long for this world. Michael Myers should be going to space for sure. The problem with Jason X is there is one good kill in that entire movie. And that is, of course, when the girl goes in and gets her face in the what's it called? The freezing carbon. I'm going to say it wrong, whatever it is. When it gets down to the deep freeze there, pulls the face out and then shatters it on the thing. That's dope. That's the coolest thing in here. Everything else is awful. The kind of I'll call it a for lack of a better word, drill death. Awful. Goes to Hell is weirdly the first one I watched all the way through because I heard about the ending. Also, Freddy's glove grabs Jason's mask, and at one point I gotta make this bigger so I can actually see things. Sorry, guys. So we can see the Kandarian dagger and the Necronomicon from Evil Dead. Yeah, those boys, everybody was pretty sweet with each other and being very kind of cool, going back and forth and letting your other contemporaries and stuff throw around with you. It was always pretty cool. All right, let's round this bad boy up here. So yeah, Jason X, that goes in the F category. Jason X is a piece of crap. And speaking of Freddy and Jason, let's get down to it. Freddy versus Jason. Let me tell you a little quick story about Freddy versus Jason. I was going to film school at the time, and there was I have friends that were like big time horror fans and everything. They really liked all of the Nightmare on Elm Street, all of the Friday the 13th movies. Giant, huge horror hound fans. And they saw the movie opening weekend. They were like, dude, this is amazing. It's so good. It's so good. And I was like, get out of here, dude. I mean, I've seen all the movies at this point, but it didn't really hit me. I wasn't super stoked to see it. So I didn't see it on its original theatrical run here, but back in the day, children, we had this little thing called second run theaters where you would actually go after the movie had gone through its initial theatrical release. They would bring it out in a cheaper theater so you could go and see it on the cheap and everything. And sometimes those cheap theaters had even cheaper movie nights. So we, our little local second run theater in Orlando had 75-cent Tuesday nights. Movie ticket was 75 cents. And let me tell you something. That night, when I went to go see Freddy versus Jason on a Tuesday evening for $5 whole, that theater was packed. Absolutely packed. And you know what? We had the best friggin' time you could have possibly imagined, dude. It was so good. Everybody was loud. Everybody was rowdy. People were just going nuts. It was so good. It made for a fantastic theater going experience. And it was everybody. It was every walk of life. Old people, young people. It's Orlando. So you had black, white, Latino, Asian. It was everybody, dude. And everyone was having a blast, man. And maybe I've got a little rose-colored glasses with that and everything. I know there's a lot of stupid junk in that, but you know what? I don't care, dude. I'm going to say Freddy versus Jason's in that B tier category. It's a little high. I understand, but I think with where I am in my life, I'm willing to admit the truth. Freddy versus Jason, not so bad. Not so bad. And I think hopefully that's going to be the next one that comes out in a 4K and everything. I think I'd pick that one up. I haven't picked up the 4K for Jason X or Jason Goes to Hell because why would I? But however, and this will be a little spoiler alert for this one, the Marcus Nispel Friday the 13th from 2009? Is that the right date? I'm going to say this, man. I went to see this movie having seen Marcus Nispel's Texas Chainsaw Massacre. And when I saw that Texas Chainsaw Massacre, I did not care for it. My buddies didn't care for it, and they were just like, "Hey, this is not what we signed up for here." And I was not the horror hound at the time, for sure. And so I was like, "Well, let's go see this Jason, and then let's go see this new Friday the 13th remake here." And again, like all the previous ones with Freddy versus Jason and whatnot, I had seen all the movies at this point. I was ready for this. And so we figure, hey, let's give it a shot. And the opening is like 20 minutes long before the cold opens, like 20 minutes long. And they essentially go through the first 3 films. Jason, dying when he's a little kid and everything, coming back for part 2, getting the hockey mask for part 3, and he's smashing people up against trees. Very Jason style and everything. And then, we finally get the actual boom title screen there and everything. And then we cut forward to other time. We see other folks die. Good stuff, man. My biggest complaint, which I think is probably everyone's complaint with that movie, is that the kills themselves are not of the kills in those movies are just kind of stabs or variations of stabs and stuff like that. And they even tease like other cool things that could happen, but don't end up happening. Like when the one kid is in the garage and everything, and you see the chop saw there, and you're like, "Oh, all right, we're definitely doing something with that chop saw, right? We got Chekhov's chop saw, if you will." No, nothing happens with that. It's just I think that kid gets stabbed too. It's all a very weird stabilization of it and everything, but overall, a very fun time for a movie. And again, if you're going to remake something, remake it like this, dude. I'm gonna put it up in the A category, and I don't give a damn what anybody says. I think it's pretty good. So yeah, man, that's a tier list here for Friday the 13th. They come around every now and then, and I feel like it's a good enough time to go through and check out all the different variations that are out there. They say the Friday 13th is up for buying, I guess someone's could possibly buy that one, and like Leatherface and all these other ones. So the horror things are coming up for grabs over there and everything. So will that happen? I don't know. We'll certainly find out. But that is it, everybody. I think that's going to kind of do my stream here for today. We've been rolling about an hour and everything, but I want to thank you guys so much for stopping by. Leaving some chats there and everything. I mean, I'm getting bot chats, so that's even more fantastic, to where I can, I go, "Oh, look, somebody like at least a bot's coming after me." That means somebody's watching. So again, I want to thank you guys all for watching. I don't know if I'm going to do any streaming tomorrow, but we will be streaming the whole HMP episode on Sunday. So that will be me, Sean, and hopefully Bruce will be attached onto that one as well. So we'll be streaming that one here. Again, we're covering 80s Eddie Murphy movies all throughout the month of June. This week, we will be covering Trading Places with Eddie Murphy and Dan Aykroyd. You know that film. Everybody's seen that film. Or have I seen that film? I don't really know. So again, thank you so much. I can't believe it. We finally get 4 people and the show's over. I can't believe how you people do me like this. So, but do me a big giant favor here, everybody. Like and subscribe. Share this out with other friends and stuff like that. And especially with this here actual show and everything, man. Just subscribe to the channel and just I really appreciate that. Thank you guys so much for stopping by, and we'll see you next time.